You don't make up for your sins in the church. You do it in the streets. You do it at home. The rest is bullshit, and you know it.
Mean Streets is a 1973 movie directed by Martin Scorsese and starring a fantastic cast that includes Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, and David Proval. Set in New York's dark and gritty Little Italy, it tells a story about monster life, crime, and racism in the 70s. It is no charming tale, and being filmed at an incredibly tight budget, working around by Scorsese's expertise in filmmaking, makes it a feat in classic cinema. And despite being one of the deepest and best crafted crime movies of all times, it remains largely unnoticed within today's audiences. So why is that? At a first glance, what turns off many viewers is the movie's rather slow pace and scarce action-packed scenes that are common in the genre. But diving deeper into this, the lack of eventful action may very well be representative of the characters themselves. Structuring the movie in this way, Scorsese enacts the lack of progression in the characters' careers and lives. Just take a look at Johnny Boy, played by De Niro, who doesn't leave his huge debt, nor seems to ever will.
Alright, next payday I'm coming down here to Tony's. Johnny Boy better show or I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna break his fucking legs. We understand each other?
He fails to move forward from the small-time monster figure he represents. But okay, that may just be due to his psychotic and impulsive persona, but what about the movie's protagonist, Charlie, played by Harvey Keitel? The lack of progression in his life is also evident. He refuses to move in with Teresa, for once.
What are you afraid of?
Afraid? What are you talking about? Afraid? Go on. What's stopping you? So you're not afraid of your parents so bad? Move out. From you, all I got's the neighborhood right now.
What about me?
Just the neighborhood and those guys down there. That's what's important to me right now.
Also, he's constantly talking about his job at the restaurant, though we never actually see him land the position. And this connects directly with the big theme in the movie, the social hierarchy inside the mobster. People higher in the ranks are idolatrized in this movie, but it's not the protagonists I'm talking about. Let me explain. Generally in crime movies, the protagonists are the ones in power, or they become so throughout the movie's development. However, in Mean Streets, the protagonists are at the lower end of the food chain in the dark New York mob, and as such, those with more power are looked upon and respected, especially by Charlie himself. A clear-cut example is seen when Johnny Boy asks for his help in hiding and suggests Charlie ask his powerful uncle for help, but Charlie constantly refuses, most likely fearing he'll lose his chance at a job or leave a bad impression on his mafia leader relative.
Hey, Charlie, I really think we should talk to your uncle. I really think that's the only way.
No.
The movie doesn't hold itself in portraying the social issues of the era either. Racism is naturalized within the characters and society in this movie. Charlie's refusal to date a black woman because he fears what people on the streets may think is a clear example.
Hey, you want to be crazy? That's all I need now, is to get caught in the village with a melange.
All of this serves to give Mean Streets a realistic character. Adding to this, the mobsters aren't idealized or romanticized as they many other times are in crime movies. Instead, they are presented in the dark and violent streets of New York, and within gloomy and dirty joints, quite the opposite of glamorous. The last interesting point that makes this movie stand out is its protagonist, Charlie. Harvey Keitel's relationship with Scorsese is a unique one, as they were lifelong friends before filming, and Scorsese wrote the role of Charlie especially for him. Their views for the movie were very similar, as Scorsese stated in an interview, and this allowed for an ideal and fluid shooting, one which many directors could only dream of. And Keitel perfectly gets inside the role of the rather kind and likable character that is Charlie, not one that will normally star a crime movie. While he isn't free from errors, he is easy to identify with and understand. His motivations come from a parental feeling towards Johnny Boy and his complicated love with Teresa, all while trying to advance in his career. He is probably the most believable character inside a crime movie. Coming to an end, and to top it all off, is a thrilling and violent finale. Johnny Boy is ruthlessly murdered in an intense scene that keeps you at the edge of your seat and makes for a perfect and grotesque ending. While shots of all the other characters appear, Italian pop music fills the background and attenuates the miserable conclusion for the protagonists, as the final shadowy shot of the city fades out and the titles roll. It leaves you feeling uneasy as Charlie and his friends' lives set out in an uncertain destination, a never-ending cycle in their stale lives inside a dark, criminal world.
Ancora una volta un altro applauso ai nostri interpreti, la signora Mili delle Cave, la Sorrentina. Wonderful job, Thank you very much.